The audience, please. Good afternoon and welcome back to the WSPS World Championships here in Elaine. It's the start of the trap finals. We'll start with the PT1. Then we'll have PT2 and PT3. Our apologies for not being able to bring these pictures to you live, just because of technical problems our end, and the TV crew here have worked ever so hard and done ever so well to actually even manage to bring the Para Trap finals to you. So well done to the team this end. Here's how it all lines up then. Keith White of Great Britain takes bib number 1. Then representing the home nation of the UAE is Isa Azubadi. Then bib number 3, Pedro Gomez Albenda, representing the Islamic Republic of Iran. And we have Alvarez Tava Solea. And with bib number 5, representing Italy, Oreste Lai. And finally with bib number 6, representing Finland, it's Juha Muulamäki. So that just gives you some details of what's going to happen here in the trap final. 12 gauge shotgun. I started with an 18 back in the day when I was a child, then moved up to 12 whenever I was about 14 years old and could actually handle it back in the UK. Although I spent most of my time actually just firing the traps rather than actually taking part at that time, because my dad didn't want me rifling through too much ammunition. But there you are. My name is Rory McAllister. I'll be your commentator for these Para Trap finals. Just doing the test fire at the moment. Just making sure the athletes are happy with the release of the targets. Making sure those speakers and the microphones in front of each athlete are working. Because the athlete has to call or sometimes a variation of the word call and noise, just to alert those to actually release the target. And you're more than likely familiar with shotgun. It's as simple as hit or miss. If you see a load of red powder in the sky, then more than likely it's always called as a hit. Sometimes there can be discrepancies where it just nicks and perhaps someone sees a bit of red dust, someone doesn't, That's where the referee and the jury come in to decide. So we'll have 5 targets for each athlete, and then move through to another 5 targets for 10, and then 15 and 20, up to 25. And then after 25 targets, 6th place will be announced, and that athlete will leave the final. And then after the next 5 targets, 5th place, 35 targets for 4th. After 40 targets, that will decide bronze. And then there's 10 targets to decide the gold medal. No quota places available for this final, just due to the fact that it isn't part of the Paralympic programme. But nonetheless, up and running. Keith White with 2 hits so far. Al-Zubadi opens with a miss. And Gomez Albendia of Spain, an impressive record, and also took gold at the Munich World Cup earlier this year. Saw that myself. It was a very, very fine final. So it rotates around, goes through each 6 athletes, and then back round to bib number 1. So Keith White at the moment with a perfect score. And just to say for the moment that the ambient sound of what's going on in the shotgun range is low at the moment. We're just working on that technical problem, and we'll bring you sound as loud as we can and as soon as we can. The TV crew here have been absolutely superb. They've worked so hard. Oreste Lai with a miss there. And now down to Juna Mulamaki. Finland, a country with real prowess in the world of shotgun. There's normally never a shotgun final without a Finnish shooter in it somewhere. That's been my experience anyway over the last. Oreste Lai with 2 misses so far, and then Mulamaki with 2 out of 4 so far. So Keith White with his first miss, representing Great Britain. It's quite new actually as well to Paratrap. Only got into it over the last 5 years or so, where he lives in Scotland. He went shooting locally and got involved that way. Back in 2017 he began trap shooting at Glenmoriston Shooting Ground in Scotland, and has been here ever since. We're very happy to have Keith around. He's a lovely, lovely guy. So just completing now the first series of 5 targets. And that draws it to a close for now. So Gomez Albendia of Spain is the only one with 5 out of 5 so far. Still very early stages of this shotgun para-trap final, PT1. The PT2 and the PT3 finals will follow. So there we have it. 5 out of 5 for the Spaniard. And now back to Keith White, bib number 1. Now, should there be a tie at any point after 25 targets, then it reverts to bib numbers. So let's just say, for argument's sake, Keith White and Al Buzadi, that's bib number 1 and 2, we're both on, say, 20 targets each after 25. Then it would be Al Buzadi who would leave the final just for the lower bib number. As I said, if you are watching and wondering where the ambient sound is, we'll be bringing that to you as soon as we can. Just working on that technical difficulty. Says Oreste Lai, who has 5 out of 7 targets, just 2 misses. Was the 2019 world champion in this event. So experienced, so many medals, almost too many to mention, literally. So Keith White has missed 3 so far. Al-Zubadi has missed 5. And Gomez Albendia with 7 out of 8. So he continues to lead. And here's Tava Suleya of the Islamic Republic of Iran. 4 hits, 4 misses. Well, back to Oreste Lai, this very experienced Italian shotgun shooter. 6 out of 8. And once again to Finland's Juha Mullamäki. So a nice solid hit for Keith White. He'll be happy with that. Keep himself up there on the scoreboard. So it's back to Keith White then of Great Britain. Once we come back, we've just about to complete the 10 targets and then we'll go for another break. And this is once again Tava Suleya. Another miss. And back to Oreste Lai of Italy, 2019 world champion. A miss there, it just flings off into the distance. And a great hit by Mullamäki there to complete the second set of 5 targets. So that's 10 targets into this final. There'll be another 5 to come now. So it's still Albendia of Spain who leads the competition. 2 hits behind is Oreste Lai, with Keith White just hanging on in there for the moment.
Lai, and at the end of the list was 5 targets. Isa Al-Zubaidi and Juha
remaining athletes.
They have three rounds to go to
Iran
clear
and
this
Finland.
gap. Come on, let's go with your big applause for the next round. Come on.
So you're now hearing the voice of Philipp Bernard of Germany, the announcer down at the shotgun range. There he is, just that they're under. This is a World Championship final after all. So can Oreste Lai make some ground? He can. Solid hit. Needed that one. So he's now within 1 target of the Spaniard. And Mullamäki could really do with a hit here in order to keep his hopes alive of a medal. Solid hit for Albizadi. Gomez Albendia with another miss. That's 2 in a row for the Spaniard. Tavasalea, solid hit. 7 out of 12. Restelai, great hit, very solid that one. That's a great hit. Sometimes just as the target comes out of the trap, flies up straight, sometimes they can be the hardest because it's just getting smaller and smaller as it moves away from you. Like it would do, obviously, if it's going on an angle trajectory, but I think sometimes, I don't know, I find the straight shots sometimes are the hardest ones. So back to Mulamaki, who really needs to start hitting some targets to stay into this final. Does so. That's 7 out of 13. Keith White with another hit. Once again, Tavasalea with a hit, so that's 9. Restelai can go joint leader and does so. And now pressure's on Mulamaki. Otherwise this final could start drifting away. That's a miss. Again, you just got to keep your composure at this stage of a final. Keith White with a hit. Alzabadi with a hit. Albendia with a hit. Can we get a straight 6 from all the athletes? There's another hit there. So come on then, Restelai, pressure's on. We want a nice clean sweep here. There we go. And can Mulamaki make it 6 hits out of 6 for all the athletes? He can. Just shows his class. So that's 15 targets down into this final. We'll have another 5. So at the moment, there's a joint lead between Albendia
but now
and also the Italian Restelai. That's how it was after 10. Here's it now after 15. So a tie at the top, 12 targets each. And Keith White, Great Britain, tied for 3rd with Tavasalea of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Juha Mulimaki, now he must fight 2 rounds, total of 10 targets.
We're expecting Mulamaki to make some ground here, such as his literal finesse being finish. So Keith White, bib number 1 to start again. This will be shot 16. And you'll see the shotgun referee there. Put his hand up, calling a miss. Another one. So after a straight sweep of 6 hits, surely we're not going to start with 6 misses. There we go. Tavasalea put paid to that. Back to a rest they lie. Good solid hit, that one. Incidentally, each athlete has 15 seconds in order to make their shot. And you must fire within the time limit in order for it to be counted. Al Zubardi, a silver medalist here in Elaine. And also took a silver at Châteauroux as well, so certainly knows his way around the podium. And this being his home shotgun range too. That's a pretty painful miss there by Tavasalea, but target just flying off to the right. Very, very difficult. So Keith White can keep himself within the hunt and the chase here, and does so. He's currently tied with Albendia of Spain and needs to keep up if he's in hope of a medal today. Back to Tavasalea. Go joint leader, joint second if he gets this. And does so. So now we've got 3 athletes on 12 targets. Oreste could put some daylight between himself and the 3 others, and does so. He's now on 15. Back to Mullamäki of Finland. And that's a miss for Mullamäki. Keith White with a miss. Oh, it's painful for the Briton. Another solid hit from Albendia. Really good to keep up the pressure on Oreste, who is still 2 targets in front, but now to shoot. Can he go 3 clear? He does so. Class act. Oh, Mullamäki really needed that hit as well. Pushes him up to 10. So Keith White with another miss. Al Zubardi with a hit. He's up to 11. And Albendia with a miss. So Tavasalea can go clear second here, and does so. And Oreste, can he just increase his lead? He can. 17. He's only missed 3 so far. And Mullamäki with a miss, which means then he'll be bottom of the scoreboard. That's after 20 targets. So this is really where it goes almost into the business end of this target, because after the next 5 targets we will see our first elimination. Currently at the moment that could be Mullamäki of Finland. But changing our attention to the top, it's Oreste of Italy, who leads by 3 clear hits from Tavasalea of Iran. Keith White still there or thereabouts for Great Britain in 4th at the moment as it stands. And we now go to the next 5 targets to decide 6th place. If there is a tie at any point, then it will revert to bib numbers in order. And if there is a tie, then the lowest bib number will be eliminated from this Para-Trap PT1 final. Keith White opens with a hit. Al-Zubadi miss. Gomez Albendia, who took a gold medal at the Munich World Cup earlier this summer, perhaps does have his sights on El Dorado and more gold. Can Oreste Lai of Italy be caught though? 18 out of 21. He's still only missed 3 targets. That's incredible standard, but then that's what you'd expect. This is a World Championship final after all. So Gomez Albendia now in second, unless Tavasalea can hit this one to level up at 15 as well. That's a miss, so the Spaniard now in clear second. Oreste Lai now 3 targets in front and makes it 4. Malamaki just with another hit to keep on in there. Keith White with a nice solid hit. That's 14 out of 23. Al-Zubadi with another hit. Gomez Albendia, that's a painful miss at this stage of the final because he needs to keep the pressure on Oreste Lai. And this is Tavasalea, who can now go joint second. And I think there looks to be a problem with his gun. The referee is issuing a yellow card as a warning. So Tavasalea settles in again and composes himself with a hit. Oh, Oreste Lai with a miss. That's the first miss in a while. And that certainly makes things just a bit more interesting because now 2 of the athletes just 4 behind. Can Keith White also keep the pressure on the 2 in front? He misses that one. Gomez Albendia really needs a hit here. Doesn't get one. Tavasalea, can he keep the pressure on the Italian? Does so with a hit. Here's Oreste Lai of Italy. That's another hit, so that's 20 targets out of 24. And Muramaki gets a hit. So final shots then from each of our 6 athletes before we go to the first elimination. Keith White with a hit. Al-Zubadi also with a hit. And now Gomez Albendia. Tavasalaki also with a hit. That's a hit for each athlete so far. Oreste Lai with a miss. Slams the empty cartridge into the basket. And Mulamaki finishes off with a hit. So that's 25 targets down, which means that Juha Muulamäki will be leaving this final in 6th place.
And the other athletes comes together. 15 Keith White, 15 Aiza Al-Zubaidi, only one more Pedro Gomez Albendea, and one more again, Abdul Reza Tavozalik.
So Muulamäki really needed to keep the pressure on, particularly around sort of 10 to 15 targets, and that's when it just started to slip away. So he leaves in 6th place. Restelai, the Italian, still leads on 20 hits out of 25, so only 5 missed so far. Then Tavozalik on 17 in 2nd position at the moment, with Gomez Albendia in 3rd. Joint 4th, tied for 4th position, Keith White and Aiza Al-Zubaidi. Only 5 athletes left now in this final. Good solid hit from Keith White of Great Britain. And that's a miss for Aiza Al-Zubaidi of the UAE, the home nation, who've really looked after us since we arrived here in the United Arab Emirates. They've been very, very hospitable. Gomez Albendia with a hit. Tavozalik with a miss. Restelai of Italy, crucial hit, I would say, at this stage of the final, up to 21. Keith White just keeping the pressure on. That's a good hit from the Briton. And he knows it at this stage as well, looking around. So far, 3 hits from each athlete. Tavozalik also with a hit. Can Restelai complete the set? He can indeed. So that's all 5 athletes with a hit. Back to Keith White. Can he keep the pressure on? Oh, that's a miss. A nice solid hit from Al-Zubaidi of the United Arab Emirates. Needs that at this stage if he's going to keep up and keep in with Restelai. Seems to just be racing away with this final. But it's not over yet. That's another class hit from the Italian. It's only missed 6 targets. Keith White up to 18. Al-Zubaidi joins him on 18. So Gomez Albendia needs to hit this to keep himself in 3rd position. Now tied for 3rd. So what can Tavozalik do here? Oh, and that's a miss. And that's crucial at this stage, because signs of wavering, perhaps the heat, the concentration, everything you need to stay composed in a para-trap final such as this. It's been very, very hot today, and I do feel for the athletes who not only have had a long day but also are now feeling it through this final. So Keith White 19, Al-Zubaidi 19, and Gomez Albendia with a miss. Tavozalik, can he go up to 20? And bang, yes, there's a hit. Restelai, the Italian, who has been in a class of his own so far, and now up to 25, has only missed 5.
Will be given by the result of the shoot-off, because we have 3 athletes with 19 targets. It's Keith White, Aiza Al-Zubaidi, And the third place goes, when I'll be right and look to my jury beside me,
And I think there's
Pedro
just a bit of
Albendea,
confusion
Spain.
going on here at the
him.
moment.
He was the third ranked, Keith White the first, Isa Al-Zubaidi the second, so Mr.
I think each athlete isn't quite sure what's occurring at the moment. What's the announcer, Philip Bernard, at the moment is attempting to announce the next elimination from this final and
I know it because I counted
see who leaves in fifth place.
When you wait for the official board, we have a look on the right side. The juries will check it if the speaker is right. And they have a look.
I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to confirm here who was tied. So there's 2 athletes on 3, which means it goes to bib numbers.
The decision of the jury.
Which means if the scoreboard is correct, that Tavasalea of the Islamic Republic of Iran will be leaving this final.
Yes, it was explained. It is. Pedro Gomez.
Now,
Albendea,
Pedro Gomez Albendea has bib number 3. So when it's tied, it's the lowest bib number who leaves the final, which, by my reckoning, Keith White has bib 1.
Okay. We'll have to wait further on.
And Isa
Al-Zubaidi
has bib 2. Pedro Gomez Albendea has bib number 3. And Abdullah Reza Tavasalea has bib number 4. So if I've got this right, and I remain to be corrected, but I believe it to be Abdullah Reza Tavasalea who's been eliminated from this final. If the scoreboard's correct at the moment. So the referee and the jury are just having a chat with each other. It could be a discrepancy with the scoreboard and the hits and the misses. So there's Pedro Gomez Albendea, I think, protesting against something. I think it could be him who's leaving this final.
So we have to wait. Very interesting final again.
Yeah, you can just hear the announcer, Philip Bernard, there saying we have to wait for the official decision, but it could be that the Spaniard is leaving in 5th place.
Missed shots. And also here
he's just going over to discuss things himself with
the
jury.
The yellow card. And now a discussion about the scores. But for that we have
Keith White, I think, is trying to help out with the referee.
Persons who check the background, and we have to wait until the moment where we got a
sometimes this does happen in shotgun.
We have rules.
It happens in all finals, but particularly sometimes as well in shotgun. You
have to stay and
you do get this, and there's some distance, of course, and people are trying to communicate with each other and
correctly according the board.
Sort out exactly what's gone on. And let's face it, this is a World Championship final, so it needs to be present and correct.
I think it's a good time for applause. For the leading one was 25 targets, Orestelai. And also the second place, according my counting, is Abdulreza Tawazolika from Iran with 20 targets.
Whatever happens here, though, it's still Orestelai of Italy who is leading this final.
Zubaidi and Keith White have altogether 19 targets. That means 3 athletes with a gap of only
just waiting for the scoreboard to come up again so that we can have a look on it and a check on that.
An advantage of 5 targets. Orestelai. We'll see what's going on. Now, here's the decision.
Okay, I think we have a decision.
So, okay, the decision was correct. Pedro Gomez Albendea has 19 targets and is off. So, this is clear.
Okay, so it is the Spaniard who leaves the final in 5th place. It is Pedro Gomez Albendia who will leave in 5th in this World Championship final in Alain at the 2022 WSPS World Championships Paratrap PT1. So there we have it confirmed. It's still Oreste Lai of Italy who leads. He's only missed 5 targets.
The next series for the 5th place,
which is a decent total to have hit 25 out of 30 at this stage in these conditions as well, as doing very well. So back to Keith White then. Or maybe not. Well, it looks as if again there's another discrepancy here. So it looks like Keith White will shoot again. I don't believe he actually even fired last time. So that's a miss for Keith White. Al-Zubadi with a miss. Tavasalea, who clearly hasn't been phased by the slightly longer break in this final than would usually be expected. Score with a hit, as has Oreste Lai. So can Keith White stay in the hunt here? He keeps the pressure on the athlete next to him from the UAE, who misses. So Keith White now finds himself in 3rd position as we start to cruise towards the bronze medal. That will be awarded after 40 targets. Tavasalea with a miss. Now Oreste Lai, can he just keep pressing on forward? And there's a miss there, so it just goes to show that even after this performance so far, we're all human at the end of the day. Keith White now on 21, Al-Zubadi on 19, and with another miss, stays there. Tavasalea, can he knock up to 22? He can. Back to the Italian. Great hit, 27. And can the Briton keep the pressure on? Great shot from Keith White. Al-Zubadi with another hit. Tavasalea is tied with Keith White at the moment, but still to shoot. And a miss, so that's good news for the Briton. Keith White will know now that he's tied for 3rd place. Oh, but a crucial time in this final, and on his 35th shot misses the target. Al-Zubadi meanwhile gets a hit, and Tavasalea is on 22. Can he make that 23? Yes, he can. Back to the Italian, who leads this final. 29 hits out of 35, so only 6 missed. That's an incredible standard at this stage of the final. So, and Tavasalea is on 22. Can he make that 23? Yes, he can. Back to the Italian, who leads this final. Of the United Arab Emirates will now be leaving this final. So Isa Al-Zubadi of the United Arab Emirates will now be leaving this final in 4th place.
19 plus 3 makes 22.
Not on the medals, particularly at the World Championships, and particularly Now Arrestelai, who literally just needs to keep this daylight now between him and the other two athletes. Keith White of Great Britain could really do with a hit here. He's in the bronze medal position at the moment. Will it be another medal for Great Britain? Well, we certainly know that that's guaranteed. It's just a case of what colour. So Tavasalea to go again. And that's a hit, 25 out of 37 targets. Arrestelai of Italy, who's pretty much led the entire way for this final, has been almost in a class of his own. Here's Keith White again to keep the pressure on the Iranian shooter, and does so. That's a solid hit. Great shot from Keith White. Another hit for the Iranian. Up to 26. What can the Italian do here? Another hit, maybe? Indeed. That's another good solid hit from Keith White to keep the pressure on. So he still has the opportunity to sneak into silver, but Tavasalea may have something to say about that, because if it's tied, it will go to bib numbers. But no, it means now the Briton will take bronze. So now it's a fight for gold and silver between Tavasalea and Arrestelai of Italy. So there we have it. Britain have another medal. Keith White will be taking the bronze back to Scotland. Tavasalea currently in the silver medal position. It's now down to him to keep the pressure on, keep hitting those targets to try and edge towards gold. So there's now 5 targets between the two, with Arrestelai still to shoot. Oh, and a miss there from the Italian. Interesting. Still, nonetheless, we have the first medal of this final, this PT1 mixed trap seated final at Al-Ain in the 2022 WSPS World Championships.
And now we wait for the official.
At least, yes. Here we go. We're just waiting for the official announcement. I think
the jury must help us right now.
Keith White's pretty sure that he's won, taken the bronze medal. And I think he's just waiting for the final confirmation. And the scoreboard says he is 1 shot behind. I think Keith White's actually asking, he wasn't actually sure whether or not he was tied at one point, but the scoreboard says the bronze medal. I think it's the bronze medal as well. I think Keith White's just waiting for the official announcement.
Shoot off? No, we have no shoot off. Decide by bib number if we have an equal, but we have to wait.
And the referee just communicating with the jury, just to make sure that this is called correctly. We're pretty sure we've got it right though back here.
So it looks that we got a decision by bib number or by result. We have a result.
Yeah, Keith, in a few moments from now, not only will you have a shotgun, maybe perhaps on your shoulder, but there'll be a bronze medal as well around your neck. So representing Great Britain, fantastic achievement here at these World Championships, considering really since 2017, Keith has been shooting at Paratrap. He's the bronze medalist in this final. Just as you can see the British team in the background, there's Hamish McInnes, who's head of GB shooting.
And they got the last 5 shots.
So I think the British team will be pleased with that.
Medal in a very, very interesting
so, and then there were 2. And now what happens in this Paratrap final is the gold medal will be decided over the next 10 targets. So normally up until now it's intervals of 5, but now we move to the battle for the gold medal. At the moment it's going to Italy. So I think there were some problems with the scoreboard earlier because we got to 25 and then it all reverted back to 0. And the date says it's 1999, but I think you and I know that it's actually 2022. We're some way clear of 1999 now. It's been a bizarre final in some ways. I think the referee's saying, are we going to rock the scoreboard round and try and actually reflect the current totals, or is it going to stay as it is?
Good advantage, how much? I'm not sure in the moment, so have a look. I think it's more than 1 target, so we'll see what's going on.
So Abdullah Reza Tavasalea finds himself in the silver medal position at the moment with Oreste Lai of Italy, who's pretty much clearly been leading the way. I think this is just confusion as to whether or not and which position they're supposed to shoot from. Well, I think it turns out that Tavasalea is also out of ammunition. Maybe he thought he wasn't going to get this far, so didn't take enough in his vest pockets.
So we'll see what's going on the next 2 rounds by 5 shots decide the world title, the world championship winner.
So we're now into the closing stages of this PT1 final. PT2 and PT3 still to come. So here's how it stands. There's 5 targets between the 2. So in order for it to pan out the way we'd like to, perhaps for a battle for the gold, then Tavasalea is going to have to catch up. And a miss, that's not going to help things. So it should be Oreste Lai now to shoot. There's clearly some discrepancies going on and all sorts of confusion, I think, with the scoreboard and the communication between the referee and the jury. Halt, he says. Talk to the hand.
So they're going on to fight now with technique.
Okay, so does this mean now that Tavasalea is going to fire again? It should be Oreste Lai to shoot next, and that is indeed what's happening. So we're back on track. And a hit from the Italian, so now 6 in front with only 9 targets left. So it could get to the point where Oreste lies so far in front that Tavasalea can't catch him up. I think this is slipping away from the Iranian shooter. Oreste Lai is now 6 targets in front and still to shoot. If he hits this, he's going to make it 7. Oh, and with a miss. More drama in this World Championship final. So how can Tavasalea respond here? Pressure's on. 6 targets is the gap. 7 to go. And that's a crucial hit for the Iranian shooter, now within 5. And the rest they lie with another hit, so that's a difference of 6 now with 6 to go. So a miss from Tavasalea and a hit from Oreste Lai will decide the medals, still with 5 targets to go. Can Tavasalea keep this alive? The best he can hope for now is a tie, and with that miss, barring a disqualification, which would be very, very bizarre and strange, it now means that Oreste Lai is the world champion and the gold medalist. And it's perhaps what you might have expected. He was the 2019 world champion and has just a vast array of medals, literally just too many to mention. He's so experienced. Tavasalea now with his 45th shot and another miss, so this is now exhibition stuff. And a miss from Oreste Lai, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he can miss all the next 5 targets and will still be fine. That's 45 down, so another 5 to go. So, being respectful to the format, we will then play this out, even though it's already been decided, the gold and silver medal. So perhaps this is where the athletes could start showboating, perhaps. But no, still serious from Tavasalea, playing for records and pride. Oreste Lai with a miss. He can miss the next 4 if he likes. He's still the world champion. So Tavasalea with another miss. I think this has played out, not only perhaps to form, but also in the right way as well. Oreste Lai has just been so clinical throughout this final and has managed to keep his composure and concentration. We've had quite a few miscommunications and delays and scoreboard issues and all sorts of things. But just nearing the end now of this PT1 mixed trap final here in Alain. So that's a nice solid hit. Just now playing for the record books. Oreste Lai with his 48th shot and hits that one, so he's only missed 10. And now down to the final 2 shots from each athlete as some of the crowd start to cheer and show their support. So the Islamic Republic of Iran have got themselves a silver medalist, and here he is, Abdulreza Tavasalea, who won a gold medal in Lonato in Italy in 2017, and was also a bronze medalist here at Alain last year in the World Cup. Oreste, meanwhile, is the world champion from 2019 and a massive medal cabinet. Huge. So that's the final shot from Tavasalea. What a day. It's been a long one with qualifications over the last couple of days or so. And now the final in this scorching heat as well, Alain. And Oreste raises his arm in the air and is congratulated by the Iranian shooter and embraced as well. So there we have it, the gold medalist representing Italy, Oreste in this PT1 mixed trap final at Alain 2022 WSPS World Championship, and of course the title of World Champion, and fist pumps the air, and rightly so as well. That was a bit of a marathon, wasn't it? The silver medalist representing the Islamic Republic of Iran, Abdulreza Tavasalea, and just taking his position. There's great smiles from Oreste. Yeah, you got there, you made it. And you'll see Keith Wise of Great Britain just getting his sunglasses fixed. Hands aloft, and rightly so. That's a terrific achievement, Keith. You've done very, very well there. A bronze medal for Great Britain, a silver medal for the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the gold medalist representing Italy and world champion goes to Oreste. So that concludes our coverage of this PT1 final here in Alain of the 2022 WSPS World Championships. We'll be along very, very shortly with the coverage and a look back at PT2, the next final in this parrot trap competition here in Alain. So for now, it's farewell, and we'll see you shortly.
Yes, come on. Later, when we start PT2, and after it PT3, then we become perfect and make the biggest show ever happen in Power Trap to offer the world how great this sport is. We want to become Paralympic, so give us a show. The Paralympic colleagues by the IOC won. Representing the Czech, he lives in Novi Knin, and his name Miroslav Lidinsky. On position 4 with a qualification score of 111. He can start to walk right now, because I want to present you. Come on, let's go. Come on. Yes, now he's going. He's representing Spain, the world champion from 21 or from Pamplona, Oloris San Ignacio. He begins now to walk. Let him go. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. Okay. The Italian bronze medal and by the Italian champions is his biggest score from Brescia, Roberto Cucinotta. Cucitti, I have to correct me. Cucitti. It's falls on my card here. They haven't corrected in advance. Position 2. He's representing Finland with a qualification score of 170 points. The world champion from 2018 lives in Pyta, Vesa, Järvinen. And with a qualification score of 119 on position 1, representing Slovakia. He likes hunting, lives in Romanova. Here is Filip Marinov. Last but not least, the officials, the jury member in charge for that final, Hassan Al-Nuaimi, United Arab. We start, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome with a big applause. On position 6 with a qualification score of 110, the second in the T World Championships, Leonardo 18, he lives in Kanha, and his name, second, Rajveer Singh, India. Position 5, also 110, the first of the World Cup, Alain 2019. Representing the Czech, he lives in Novi Knin, and his name, Miroslav Lidinsky. On position 4, with a qualification score of 111. He can start to walk right now, because I want to present you. Come on, let's go. Come on. Yes, now he's going. He's representing Spain, the world champion from 21 or from Pamplona, Oloris San Ignacio, Javier. And on position 3 with a qualification score of 113. He begins now to walk. Let him go. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. Okay. The Italian bronze medal and by the Italian champions is his biggest score from Brescia, Roberto Cucinotta. Cuccitti, I have to correct me. Cuccitti. It falls on my card here. They haven't corrected it in advance. Position 2. He's representing Finland with a qualification score of 170 points. The world champion from 2018 lives in Pyta, Vesa, Järvinen. And with a qualification. We start, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome with a big applause. On position 6 with a qualification score of 110, the second in the T World Championships, Leonardo 18, he lives in Kanha, and his name, second, Rajveer Singh, India. Position 5, also 110, the first of the World Cup Alain 2019, representing the Czech. He lives in the ninth of 5, also
Okay, right, just a mic test for the PT2.
Okay, so we will open from black. Yes, okay. Open from black. Roll that. Record, okay. And are we good?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, can you just push?
Yeah, it's still running its normal size. Still fine.
We have the logo?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we?
Yeah,
We
let's
start?
go.
Anytime?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Ready? And release first and
We start. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with a big applause. On position 6 with a qualification score of 110. The second in the T World Championships, Leonardo 18. He lives in Ghana and his name, second, Rajveer Singh, India.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Elaine.
Position
It's day 5
also
of the
110.
WSPS World Championships, and we're here with our second Paratrap final of the day. This is the PT2, the mixed trap standing. This is the lower limb category, the SGL. And we're just making some of the announcements.
With a qualification score of 111.
And we've just seen
Ravinder
Ravinder Sekol of India. We've just seen Miroslav Ledinsky of the Czech Republic. And now Ignacio Olores Sanz, representing Spain, who's wearing bib number 4. Next, representing Italy, will be Saverio Cacciuti.
Qualification score of 113. He begins now to walk. Let him go. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. Okay. The Italian bronze medal by the Italian champions is his biggest score from Brescia, Roberto Cucinotta.
And just about to come into shot then.
Cuccitti, I
we've seen Cuccitti,
it's falls on my card here.
the Italian.
Corrected in advance.
Wearing big number 2, representing Finland. Yet another final with a Finnish shooter. As I said, they're never too far away from the shotgun finals. As such is the prowess and quality of shotgun shooting in Finland. This is Vesa Järvinen.
And with a qualification score of 119.
And finally, representing Slovakia.
He likes
a terrific shotgun shooter, this guy. Really knows his stuff. Took a gold at the Leonardo European Championships this year. It's Philippe Marinov.
Member in charge for that final, Hassan Al Nuaimi, United Arab Emirates. And the referee of this final will be
just introducing the jury member in charge of this final, and also the referee.
And now, let's get ready and send them to the line with your
Nice to see the referee wearing an old ISSF TV cap. Used to be part of that team myself, and the caps are always very, very popular. So here's how it finished in qualification. Filip Marinov of Slovakia, top of the table on 119, with Vesa Järvinen of Finland on 117. Saverio Cacciuti of Italy on 113, 111 for the Spaniard. And that's how the bib numbers line up. So if at any point there is a tie and 2 shooters are on the same score, then it will go to bib number, with the lowest bib number being eliminated from the final. So we'll start with 5 shots. We'll then go through to 10, 15, 20, and then up to 25. And after 25 targets, that's when we'll have our first elimination. That will be 6th place. After 30 targets, we'll determine 5th. 35 targets will determine 4th. And after 40, the bronze medal will be decided. And then gold and silver are decided over the next 10 targets rather than 5. We like to be a little bit different, you see, in the world of shooting.
5 rounds.
So a simple case of hit or miss. You're either looking for a green light. What you don't want to see are the red ones. So as usual, there will just be a test fire before this final begins. This is just making sure that the athletes are comfortable at their firing positions, and also just that everything's working with their shotguns in terms of cocking and firing, and with the ammunition. The traps were tested earlier on. We've also had a PT1 final, so this is our second shotgun final of the day. Pretty hot conditions here in Alain today. The temperature really was soaring up towards the early to mid 30s in terms of Celsius. So around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, just a tad over. Although it's in beautiful surroundings here as well. The natural green of the trees in the background provide much more of a natural feel, as you can see in your screens now, to this shotgun arena, rather than perhaps sometimes where you have the kind of green coverings and green nets that are obviously completely artificial compared to what we've got here in Alain. A nice bit of shade as well off to the side of that high house, which is used for the skeet competitions. But this, for the moment, is trap. And here we go. Final is underway. So Philippe Marinov opens up with a hit. This is Vesa Jarvinen. First miss of the final. Cacciuti with a hit. The Italians, again, another country that has such invested interest in shotgun shooting. Lola Sands with a miss. Ladinsky of the Czech Republic with a hit. And Rajveer Sekhal of India, the final athlete to score. So we're all up and running now. That's 2 out of 2 for Marinov. So can Cacciuti make this 2 out of 2? Indeed he can. So Lourdes Sands, who took the gold at Châteauroux of the World Cup earlier on this year, and also the current world champion. Some real pedigree in this final. Lourdes Sands also very, very experienced. A plethora of medals as well to his name. Rajveer Sekhal from India, still fairly new to things here in Paratrap. Does like cooking and painting though. 2 of my favourite things too, so let's get together Rajveer, shall we? So a miss there for the Indian shooter. Back to Philippe Marinov. Vesa Jarvinen makes it 3 out of 4. Cacciuti also 3 out of 4. So Marinov so far is the only one that's hit every single target. And here's Ladinsky again. The speed at which those targets come out of the traps is... It's not until you've tried it at this level. So Filip Marinov with 5 out of 5. Djovinen with 4 out of 5. Cachuti 4 out of 5. Aloris Sanz from Spain with again 4 out of 5. Ladinsky of Czechoslovakia with 4 out of 5. And it means Marinov therefore leads the competition because he's got 5 out of 5. Rajveer Seho of India on 3 out of 5 finds himself at the bottom of the scoreboard. So that's after 5 targets. We move now to another 5. And we'll progress at intervals of 5 targets through to 25 targets, which is when we'll see the first elimination, which will be 6th place. Nice solid hit from Cachuti, the Italian. And Aloris Sanz of Spain, 5 out of 6. So miss for Ladinsky. Here's Sekor. Nice solid hit for the Indian shooter. Back to Marinov. Can he keep up this perfection? Shot 7 and another hit. That's 7 out of 7 for the Slovakian. Djovinen also with a hit. Cachuti with a hit. Will we get a clean sweep of athletes here? Aloris Sanz, no, with a miss there. Ladinsky with a hit and Sekor also with a hit. So this is shot 8 for Marinov. Can he keep it perfect? No, he can't. That's his first miss of this final. Which means Djovinen can draw level with a hit, but no, a miss. So Cachuti now knows that a hit here, and he's tied for the lead. But he misses. Aloris Sanz of Spain, meanwhile, with a solid hit. And here's Ladinsky again. Another miss for the Indian shooter, so that's 5 out of 8. Here's Marinov, bib number 1, who's only had 1 miss so far. Really quick to strike on that target, flying out of the trap. Didn't waste any time in making it become red dust. So Marinov with another hit. It means he's only missed 1 so far, so very high standard at this stage in this World Championship final. Jovinen just keeping the pressure on. So it's actually Ladinsky who's firing now. And a miss there for the Czech shooter. Back to Sekol of India, and a nice solid hit there. So that concludes 10 targets into this final. So there'll be another 5 as we move to 15. This is when really sometimes the final starts to take shape. So you don't really want to miss too many from here on in, because this is where the competition starts to hot up. So you can see how the scoreboard now. Marinov with 9, Jovinin with 8. We've got 3 athletes tied on 7. And then Miroslav Ladinsky of the Czech Republic on 6 hits out of 10. If at any point, once we get to 25 targets, there's a tie, it'll revert to bib numbers, which means then that the lowest bib number will be leaving this World Championship final. So Marinov starts off with a hit. Jovinin also follows up with a nice green light. That's a hit. Kachuti, likewise, a hit. And Loris Sands a shake of the head. Didn't like that. Ladinsky with a hit. And Sekol for India with a nice solid hit. So just shows you how things can change around, because it's now 2 athletes on 8. Marinov, who's the clear leader, on 11. And Jovinin on 9, which now moves up to 10. So Loris Sands, can he make it 8? Can indeed, needs to as well in order to stay in the hunt, because, as I said, around this stage of a final, this is when things can start to separate. So the Indian shooter could have gone tied for 3rd there, but a miss means, because of the way the scoreboard's now reverted, there is a tie. 3 shooters on 8 targets. Marinov meanwhile hits another. That's 12. And Severio Kachuti with another hit. And Loris Sands just taking his time. Thanks if you are joining us on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you for your comments as well. Sibi Krishna asking me how many quota places for this final. Well, there are none. There are 0. Mainly because this Paratrap event is not part of the Paralympic calendar. So therefore, there are no quota places available. Just straightforward medals and the dignity and title of world champion should you claim the gold. So I hope that answers your question, Sibi. Thank you very much for leaving your comment. So miss by Marinov. He is human, he's not a machine. Jovinin keeps on the pressure. As does Kachuti, with a crucial hit at this stage to stay within 1 of the joint leaders. Loris Sands misses his. And Ladinsky with a hit. And now Sekol for India with another hit. So what can Marinov do here? It's a hit. Thought it might be. Oh, Jarvinen with a miss as well. See, the miss is starting to fly in now. This is where some pressure starts to creep in as we move towards 15 completed targets in this PT2 mixed trap standing final. It's pretty hot out there as well down by the shotgun range. The temperature's been hovering around the mid to early 30s in terms of Celsius, so again that takes its toll after a long grueling day. You can see just some of the athletes wiping the sweat from their brow. So here's how it stands at the moment then. This is after 15 targets. Filip Marinov of Slovakia on 13 hits out of 15, so he's only missed 2. Vesa Jarvinen on 12, Kachuti on 11, tied with Miroslav Ladinsky of Czechoslovakia, and also the final 2 athletes at 5 and 6. And that's Spain and India, also tied on 10 targets out of 15.
Big applause. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
So there'll be another round of 5 targets now for each athlete. And that'll have us at 20. And then we'll have our first elimination from this final. 6th place will be decided after 25 targets. Each shooter only has 15 seconds to complete their shot, and it's imperative that you make your shot within the time allowed. That's why the referee and the juries are there with their eagle eyes, just to make sure everything's present and correct. That's a bad miss for Ladinsky at this stage. He really could be doing with a hit in order to keep the pressure on the others. Meanwhile, Sacco for India, another solid hit, so he's now tied with Alonis Sands and Ladinsky. Marinov, meanwhile, continues his dominance, 15 out of 17, so he's still only missed 2. Moving at a nice pace though, with some disruptions to the PT1 final earlier today. So far this final is going along without any blemish. So Marinov has only missed 2 so far. This is shot 18 for him. Red dust, that's a good sign for him. He's up to 16. Jarvinen really needs to hit this one and does so. Keeps the pressure on Saverio Kachuti. Meanwhile, scores a miss. As does Alonis Sands. So perhaps some pressure starting to creep in and affecting the athletes, not only with their concentration, but just their stamina and enduring the heat that we've got here in Alain. It's very, very hot. This is Marinov's 19th shot of this final. And scores with a hit, so still only 2 missed. It's an incredible standard. He's on for world record pace here as we move towards 20 targets with only 2 missed. So now into the next 5 shots as we move to the next break of 20 targets. Oh, and a miss for Marinov. So that'll affect the pace setting against the world record. World record stands at 44 hits, set back in 2018 by Rafael Talemo of Italy. And it actually happened here in Elaine in the United Arab Emirates.
Fourth round has ended and in the lead first.
So that completes 20 targets then, and that's how the scoreboard was looking 5 targets ago. Here's how it's changed.
And 15 2 times.
So Marinov with only 3 misses, Jarvinen with 4 misses, Kachuti, Ladinsky both on 15, Valoris Sands on 13, and Seko of India on 12 with 8 misses. So the next 5 targets will decide the first elimination. They'll decide 6th place. Currently that's Rajveer Seko from India, unless fortune should change for him. He pretty much, in a way, needs to hit at least 4, I would say, if not 5 out of the 5 in order to stand a chance of survival, I think, against the standard of these other shooters that we've got in this final. So Marinov, the gold medalist from Lenato at the European Championships, scores another hit. Vesa Jarvinen, also a gold medalist at Lenato, that was back in 2018. And also took a silver as well in the World Cup 2017. So and he's got medals to his name as well. And Ladinsky with a crucial hit, so he's up to 16. So Seko really needs to hit this to stay within this final, and doesn't. So his chances perhaps slipping away. Marinov with another hit. So focused. Just a class act. So a hit from every single athlete so far. Can Ladinsky keep this up? Yes, he can. So we just need Seko now to hit this one. And all 6 athletes have hit their targets. But the Indian shooter misses. So, yeah, his chances of survival, I think, in this final, looking slim. 3 targets to go. So, I mean, it's still possible he can stay in, but should Valoris Sands hit his and get to 16, then bib numbers will come into play, and it'll mean that the Indian shooter will be leaving the final. So if Valoris Sands hits his, and Seko will be leaving this final. So India's fate lies in this shot. And he's missed. So here's Ladinsky. So Rajveer Seko will be leaving the final in 6th place. Meanwhile, Marinov, can he make it 20? He can. Aloris Sands with another crucial hit. That moves him up to 16. And now the Indian shooter just shooting for pride. It's still a wonderful achievement to make a World Championship final. It's much better than I've ever done for a start. And scores a hit, which is good news when you're just playing out a World Championship final and just knowing that you'll be leaving the final. Just enjoy the moment and live in the present. Marinov, meanwhile, continues to steam forward. Jarvinen right on his heels. There's only one target between the Finnish and Slovakian shooter. And Kachuti keeping the pressure on those two on 19. Aloris Sands on 17. Can Ladinsky hit this to go joint second? No, he misses. And final shot for Rajveer Sekho of India in this final, who gallantly puts his shotgun over his shoulder. He'll be leaving this final as we see him now leave the shotgun range in 6th place.
India, applause.
So a great applause for the first athlete to leave this P2 mixed trap standing final here in Elaine. So Rajveer Singh Sekhon of India leaves in 6th place on a total of 13 targets. Meanwhile, Marinov continues to dominate. He's only one in front now, though, of Jarvinen of Finland. Meanwhile, 2 athletes tied for 19. That's Kachuti and Ladinsky. And then Aloris Sands of Spain on 17 hits. So he needs to get some hits under his belt in order to stay within this final, because now the eliminations all come a bit thick and fast, because over the next 5 targets it will decide 5th place, and then we'll move on to 35 and then on to the medal stages to decide bronze. That'll be after 40 targets.
With your applause, come on.
So I think we're all ready then. We've had our first elimination. If you are just joining us on YouTube or Facebook, then welcome. It's day 5 of competition here in Elaine at the WSPS World Championships. This is the second para-trap final of the day. This is the PT2. So this is the mixed trap standing in the lower limb category. Marinov with a hit, Jarvinen with a hit, as is Kachuti of Italy. Aloris Sands also scores a hit. Can Ladinsky make it a clean sweep? He can indeed. So that's all athletes with a hit after 26 targets. Here's shot 27 for Marinov. Jarvinen also with a hit. Kachuti scores a hit, and Aloris Sands also scores a hit. So just keeping the standard up. These 5 athletes now all still fairly close. Aloris Sands still has some ground to make up, but the others now into the early 20s. At the moment, Marinov absolutely has his sights set on gold. It's 32 targets. Sorry, 22 targets to go. So he can afford to miss another 2 if he's to equal the world record. Marinov, that is. He's on 24 at the moment. The world record's 44. So he's certainly within world record pace at the moment. keeps it up. After 29 targets, it's 25, 24 missed. Jovinen, meanwhile, keeps the pressure on him, as does Cacciuti on the Finnish shooter. 23 hits from the Italian. Loris Sands on 21, and Ladinsky, can he make this 23 to tie with the Italian? No, he can't. So Maranov, can he keep this up? Will he waver? At the moment, no. More red dust. Great news for the Slovakian. Oh, and Jovinen with a miss. That's crucial at this stage. That means he'll now be level with Cacciuti, who's hit that, so he's also on 24. Loris Sands now, this is his chance to close the gap, and does so with a hit, so up to 22. And Ladinsky also with a hit as well. So Loris Sands still with some work to do, but after 30 targets, we've now decided 5th place. So leaving this final
goes to, and now I have to look to Javier Ignacio Oloris Sanz,
representing Spain, leaving in 5th place. Ignacio Javier Oloris Sanz.
Ladinsky fight great. 23
so the gold medalist from Châtellerault, the World Cup earlier this year, and also the current world champion, is actually out of this final. So no more medals for the moment. It now leaves 4. So Filip Maranov on 26, Jovinen and Cacciuti both on 24, and Ladinsky only 1 target behind on 23. So this is still anyone's final, really. Maranov is certainly the one who is looking like he's got his sights on gold. But we'll just have to see how this plays out. This is shot 31. And it's a hit. So it's our Jovinen. Another hit. And Cacciuti keeps on the pressure. Here's Ladinsky. Oh, and another hit. So all 4 athletes scoring hits. That means it's exactly the same as it was before in terms of the scoreboard and the placements. Maranov still has only missed 4 targets. That's that Jovinen. Another hit. Samuel Cacciuti with a hit. And here's Ladinsky again. Oh, and it's a miss this time. Interesting. So there's a gap now between not only Maranov and Ladinsky, but also between Jovinen and Cacciuti. Whatever happens, it's 2 targets as it stands. So Ladinsky needs to hit this one, really, and does so. So that keeps his hopes alive of staying in this final. Maranov, meanwhile, doesn't seem bothered about what the others are up to. He's just out there on his own. And that's 30 targets out of 34. So still only 4 missed. So he's certainly on for world record pace here if he can keep this up. Svesa Jovinen with a hit. He's missed 6 targets. So Cacciuti. And now Ladinsky. And Ladinsky misses. So Ladinsky out of this final. He'll be leaving in 5th place. Meanwhile, Marinov continues to score more hits. It's an amazing standard of shooting that we're seeing from Filip Marinov of Slovakia. He did seem pretty cool and calm before the PT2 final. I saw him watching the PT1, and he was incredibly chilled and relaxed considering he was just about to shoot in a World Championship final.
And we have the next decision.
So there we go, after 35 even, 35 targets.
Miroslav
Ladinsky of the Czech Republic. He seems delighted. Finished fourth in a World Championship final. Punches the air and makes his way over just to grab some water, and rightly so, because it's absolutely scorching here today in Alain. So Marinov leads the way still, now on 31 targets. That's out of 35. So he's only missed 4. 29 for Jarvinin and Kachuti on 28. So there you go. There are your medalists. It's now a case to see what colour goes to which country. So will it be Italy? Will it be Finland? Or will it be Slovakia for the gold medal? Here's Marinov on 31. This is shot 36 for him. Oh, and a miss. So that's 5 miss now. I'd say that world record perhaps is looking safe, because otherwise, even to beat it, Marinov has to hit every single target between now and the end, and there's 14 to go for him. This is shot 37. Oh, and another miss. That's 2 in a row. The first time Marinov has missed 2 targets in a row in this final. Vesa Jarvinen, meanwhile. Oh, look at this. Now tied. See, this is how things can change in a shotgun final such as this. Thank you very much to the student of Einstein for your comments on YouTube. Awesome. Oh, yes, I agree. Very much so. Oh, Marinov, look at that. 3 misses in a row. What's happened to Slovakian? Pressure perhaps getting to him. Vesa Jarvinen, meanwhile, now takes the lead. Look at that, how things can change. You've just got to keep on going in shotgun. Kachuti scoring a hit. Now back to Marinov. Really now, is the gold slipping away? Is there still long enough to go? This is shot 39, so we're approaching the stage where we will decide bronze. And Jarvinen now. So the bronze really is now going to Italy, because even if there's a tie, Marinov with the bib number 1 would mean that Saverio Kachuti, there we are, is the bronze medalist in this final. So Marinov with a miss. And Jarvinen, meanwhile, with a hit, who's now put himself 2 clear. So Kachuti
and the next round has ended.
Now on 32. So technically it's a tie, but now it's decided by bib number. So Saverio Kachuti picks up the bronze medal in this final. A wonderful achievement in a World Championship final such as this. And was always there or thereabouts in terms of in the hunt for a medal, and I think that's just desserts really that he picks up a bronze medal. So this is the battle for gold now, and there's been a change at the top, and now Jarvinen finds himself 2 shots, 2 targets in front. Now look at that, Marinov with only 4 4 misses out of 5. Only 1 hit in that last series of 5. 3 misses in a row as well from the Slovakian. He just, something happened there. Just started to waver, perhaps the pressure getting to him. The current European champion, Marinov, now up to 33. So Jarvinen will be now keen to keep the gap between the two, and does so. So there's still 2 targets between these 2 incredible shooters. Great hit for Marinov at this stage of the final. Jarvinen, meanwhile, can he respond? Keep the pressure up, he does. So still 2 between these 2. And Marinov will be thinking what was literally a few minutes ago, where he was a couple of shots in front, but with only 1 hit out of 5, that's really when things start to swing the other way. See the clock counting down there. 15 seconds for each athlete to take their shot. Oh, and a crucial hit from Jarvinen, and it's still 2 between these 2. So Marinov just has to get back to the form that he had earlier on in the final to keep in the hunt for the gold medal. And he does so. I don't think he's going to go down without a fight. Jarvinen, meanwhile, now knows what's at stake as we move to the closing stages of this shotgun final. So 5 targets left for each athlete to decide gold. Currently Marinov, who's led for so long in this final and was looking like an absolute machine, started to waver, missed 3 in a row, hit 1, missed the 5th. But he scores that one with a hit, so Jarvinen now needs to keep on hitting, and does so.
And a big applause, ladies and gentlemen.
So that's after 45. So now the closing stages of this PT2 mixed trap shotgun final here in Alain 2022, the WSPS World Championships.
Because if they have an equal after it, Mr. Marinov is the winner. But 2 targets advantage for the finish. We see the gold round. Applause.
So 5 targets left. And a hit for Marinov. He's up and running. And likewise for Jarvinen. Keeps it 2 in front. Oh, and a miss from Marinov, and I think that could very well be the gold medal, just slipping away and changing colour into silver. Meanwhile, Jarvinen scores with a hit. Marinov has got 3 targets left, including this one. And hits that. He's going to need to keep hitting them all. And Jarvinen, can he hit this one? He can. That's 42. So a nice cheer and punch of the air. Because he's just sealed himself the gold medal and the title of world champion. So Marinov now just shooting for pride. And just counting down the hits until he gets the silver medal around his neck. Jarvinen with a miss. But it's not going to matter at this stage. Marinov now will take his final shot. My guess is he'll hit this. I think he's picked up a bit of form in the latter stages of this final. I can see this one turning to red dust. And lo and behold, there it is. And let's see how Jarvinen can finish here. And he finishes on a miss, but there we are. Still doesn't matter at the end of the day. Punches the air. Absolutely delighted, and rightly so. The gold medalist and title of the world champion, representing Finland, Vesa Jarvinen, is the gold medalist here in Alain at the 2022 WSPS World Championships. What a final as well, and what a fight from Filip Marinov towards the end there for Slovakia, the silver medalist in this final. He led for so long at the top of the scoreboard, and then in and around the 30 to 35 targets mark, missed 4 of the 5, and that just changed his fortune. Meanwhile, picked up a silver medal. So the bronze medalist representing Italy is Saverio Cacciuti, who there you see on your screens just raising his shotgun in the end. And that's how it finished. Bronze for Italy, silver for Slovakia, and gold for Finland. And the world champion for this year, 2022, is Vesa Jarvinen. That concludes the PT2 mixed trap final here in Alain at the 2022 WSPS World Championships. We'll be back shortly with coverage of the PT3 final. For now, it's farewell. We'll see you soon.
To go on, we start with position 6 with a qualification score of 102 targets, representing France. With a big applause, Jean-Michel Brun.
Hello and welcome back again to Elaine for the final Paratrap final of day 5. This is the PT3 mixed trap standing final, so athletes just getting introduced at the moment. We've just seen Jean-Michel Brun of France, now we're seeing Martin Tomek of the Czech Republic, and now representing Spain, Adrian Becker Castillo, gold medalist at Munich at the World Cup earlier this summer, and also at Châteauroux as well earlier this year, so perhaps in the hunt for another gold, who knows. Another Spanish shooter with bib number 3, that's Antonio Brinas Mora.
Qualification score of 112, representing Italy.
And representing Italy, Gabriele Nani, gold medalist at the Open European Championships and also 4th in the last World Championships. Can he improve on that? This is the World Championships, and there's another Italian, Francesco Naspecca. He's a world champion 2019, is Francesco, and a silver medalist at Châteauroux, the World Cup earlier this year. So experienced, so many medals.
So it's on you to give a big applause. Come on, everybody, give me your hands for them all. Send them to the line, yeah.
And that's the voice of Philipp Bernard you can hear in the background of Germany, the announcer for this final. So that's how they line up then. Francesco Naspecca of Italy with 115 in qualification. 112 for the other Italian, that's Nani. 110, 108. 1.6 and 102. So 13 shots between Jean-Michel Brun of France and Francesco Naspecca of Italy. So the bib numbers then, Italy in 1 and 2. We've got Spain in 3 and 4, and then Martin Tomek of the Czech Republic in bib number 5, and then Jean-Michel Brun of France in bib number 6. So Martin Tomek, who shot so well at Munich, I sat there, watched that, commentated on that final in the World Cup earlier on in the summer, only for it just to slip away. Finished 4th just outside the medal, so I'm sure Martin Tomek will be hoping for better today. If you are joining us on YouTube or Facebook, then welcome. Thanks very much for coming along. Likewise, if you're watching this final back, then hello to you. My name is Rory McAllister, and I'm your commentator for this PT3 mixed trap final at Elaine and the 2022 WSPS World Championships. Test fire just taking place at the moment. This is customary for these finals, just to make sure everything's present and correct and the athletes are happy with their ammunition and the barrels in their shotgun, cocking and firing, just making sure everything works as it should. Not sure if you ever tried shotgun, but it's great fun. I've been doing it since I was a child, and even for my stag do, or bachelor party as it gets called. We all went shooting, and because of my role at the time of announcing in the ISSF, we even had a medal ceremony for which I obviously announced for my friends, and we even had a trophy as well. Really went to town. It's a great day out as well. It's a great social thing to get involved with. So we're underway, and I've got 50 targets between now and the gold medal. World record for this event is 41, and that was set by Adrian Becker Castillo, who was in this final in bib number 4. He set that world record earlier this year in June in Châteauroux at the World Cup. So Naspecca opened up with a miss, Nani with a hit, Brinas Mora with a hit, Becker Castillo, the world record holder, with a hit, likewise with Martin Tomek and Jean-Michel Brun. Scored a miss. So very hot conditions today in Alain. It was hovering around 32, 33 degrees Celsius, so give or take around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, if that's how you measure your temperatures. I do love this climate though, I do love this heat. If only we had this weather back in London. One can dream, I suppose. So none of these athletes with a perfect score so far has all had at least one miss. Or actually, sorry, I stand corrected there with Gabrielle Nani. 3 out of 3. Becca Castillo with 3 out of 3 also, and Martin Tomek makes it 2 out of 3. Jean-Michel Brun of France gets his first hit, so there we go, he's off the mark. Oh, a miss for Nesbecka. Gabrielle Nani, meanwhile, 4 out of 4. So if you missed the other 2 finals earlier today, the PT1 and the PT2, then they're available for you. Just go to the WSPS website. You can watch those back on YouTube as well, wherever you're joining us from around the world, because we do appreciate that time zones and time differences do come into it. You can't always watch these finals live, depending on what time it is in your native country. So Nesbecka with another miss. You wouldn't expect that. He's a world champion. Also took a silver medal at Châteauroux at the World Cup and is so experienced. So many medals. Nani was 4th in the World Championships, so we'll definitely be looking to improve on that today, having got all the way to this PT3 final. Great hit from Becca Castillo, the world record holder. And Martin Tomek now for the Czech Republic. With a miss. Meanwhile, the French athlete Jean-Michel Brunet with a hit to finish off the first 5 shots. So we're now 5 targets in. So Adrián Becca Castillo of Spain, the world record holder, with a perfect 5 out of 5. And Nani, meanwhile, with 1 miss. Nesbecka and Tomek and Brunet also with 2 misses. And Brines Mora of Spain with 3 misses. So he's only on 2 hits. So we now go into the next 5 targets. The first elimination will be after 20 targets. 25 even, sorry, I stand corrected. It's been a long day. And then after 30 targets will be 5th place, 35 targets will be 4th, and 40 targets for the bronze. So Becca Castillo still on a perfect 6 out of 6. Bruna, the Frenchman, on 4. Back to Naspeka, the Italian, with bib number 1. Here's Gabrielle Nani, gold medalist at the Open European Championships, with a solid hit. Bruna Smoya, who finds himself at the bottom of the scoreboard, could do with some hits, and that will certainly help. He's up to 4. So can Martin Tomek keep up the pressure? Amazing how he shoots one-handed like that, and left-handed too. Does score with a hit. They say statistically only 10% of the world is left-handed. And Martin Tomek just shows how it's done in a World Championship final such as this. So Nani with a miss, so no longer the perfect score for the Open European champion. Becca Castillo, meanwhile, also on 7. And here's Martin Tomek again, one-handed, just makes it look so easy. That's incredible, absolutely incredible. So Naspeka of Italy, the 2 Italian shooters on 7 and 8 hits apiece. So Nani with only 1 miss. Bruna Smoya on 5. Becca Castillo, world record holder, on 8. Tomek on 7. Bruna on 6. Naspeka with another miss. He's on 7 out of 10. Can Nani hit this one? No, he can't. Bruna Smoya is at the bottom of the scoreboard, and that's not going to help things. Once we go past the 10 target mark, you tend to find these finals start to take shape a little bit, although things can still change. And we've had 2 very competitive finals so far, the PT1 particularly. That's there on YouTube for you to watch it back. And the PT2 final, which was earlier today, was hotly contested. And I won't spoil that result for you, but it's definitely worth a watch.
The second 5-shot series.
So that completes 10 targets into this final. And here's how it looks. We've got 3 athletes all on 8 hits. That's Nani, Becca Castillo.
And Nani with 8 targets, 7 by
also with Naspeka.
And Brun, and 5 targets for Brinas Mora. That is
sorry, Martin Tomek. Martin Tomek, Becca Castillo and Nani all on 8 hits out of 10. Naspeka on 7, tied with Bruna of France. And then Bruna Mora on 5 out of 10. So only 50% of the targets hit. So now we move on to shot number 11. And Francesco Naspeka of Italy will get us underway again. And another miss for the Italian. What can Nani do here? Gabriele. Brunnes Moya with a hit. Becca Castillo of Spain, the world record holder. Oh, with a miss. Martin Tomek, meanwhile, of the Czech Republic, with a nice solid hit at this stage. You have to try and firm yourself into the scoreboard and into the upper part of it as well to stand a chance of moving through to the medal stages, because things can slip away in shotgun pretty quickly, and if you're not near the top towards the start, then it can look bleak. Oh, big miss for Brunnes Moya. Pekka Castillo, his fellow countryman, meanwhile, was on 8, now on 9 out of 12, so still has only missed 3. Great shot from Martin Tomek, right in the centre of the target, turned it to red dust. Jean-Michel Brunner, France, and now on 9 out of 12. And we're back to Francesco Naspecca. Turned it to red dust. Jean-Michel Brunner, France, and now on 9 out of 12. And we're back to Francesco Naspecca. Gabriele Nani keeps it up. Only 3 missed so far. That's 10 out of 13. Things are looking pretty desperate for Brunnes Moya. Change things around, but only up until 25 targets when we start to make the eliminations. After 25, that decides 6th place. So it's Tomek who leads, and then we've got 3 athletes all on 10. Gabriele Nani might change things here though if he scores another hit. And indeed does. He's up to 11. Brunnes Moya really needs to start hitting some targets if he's going to survive into this final. That will certainly help. He's now on 7. Becca Castillo with a miss. Oh, Martin Tomek, incredible one-handed, but scores a miss on that occasion. And Jean-Michel Brunner, who had a bit of a tricky start, has now started to find some form in this final, and finds himself at the moment tied with 2 other athletes. Here's first of all Gabriele Nani, who puts himself now 1 further on 12. Brunnes Moya, again, a crucial hit for him in order to keep his hopes alive of staying in this final. Becca Castillo, nice solid hit right in the centre, hardly any dust at all. Again, great shot from Martin Tomek there. You know, especially for him, shooting left-handed, you know, as the targets fly off to the left, He really needs to use all the strength in his left arm to keep the shotgun in place. So after 10 targets, that's how it stood. We've had another 5 though since then, and that's how it looks right now. So look at that, 3 athletes tied for the top, 12 targets hit by Nane, Tomek and Bruna, and then Becca Castillo on 11, Nespeka on 10 and Brinas Mora on 8. So still not out of this yet, but certainly would need to start making some ground because we've got another 10 targets before our first elimination. This next set will take us to 20. Oh, Francesca Nespeka with a miss. What can Gabriele Nani respond with here? That'll be a hit. He's up to 13, 3 targets missed. And it's 9 hits for Brinas Mora now. Needs to keep hitting these targets and then hope that there's some wavering that goes on elsewhere with the other athletes in order to keep fighting, keep plugging on and keep chasing the dream of staying in this World Championship final. A miss from Martin Tomek, so that means he's tied with Becca Castillo. And Jean-Michel Bruna, meanwhile, for France, is also tied on 12. Meanwhile, Nespeka has just hit that one to take him to 11. So Nani really starting to find some form here. 14 out of 17 targets. Just starting to put a gap between himself and some of the others. Obviously Becca Castillo, Tomek and Bruna can all still get within 1 of Nani if they hit their targets. Becca Castillo does. What can Tomek do here? Nice solid hit. Bruna of France again with a hit, so keeps it all tied on 13 for 3 of the athletes. Nespeka really needs to keep up the hits in order to keep up with the others, and now Brinas Moya has a chance to level things. See, I said how things can change in shotgun, so Nani's up to 15. Let's see if Brinas Moya now can bring himself level with Nespeka. He can indeed. See, look at that. That's how it all goes in the world of para trap and shotgun. Miss for Martin Tomek. He won't like that at this stage. Bruna, can he hit this one? Yes, he can. So he's still tied with Becca Castillo. Meanwhile, Nespeka and Brinas Moya are tied, both on 11. Nespeka up to 12. Gabriele Nani continues his dominance up to 16. Oh, and a miss from Brinas Mora. That could be crucial. Becca Castillo also with a miss. Here's Tomek again. And a miss too. So about some pressure creeping in, affecting some of the athletes, not only just the conditions that we've got here in Alain. So here's Nespeka again with shot 20. Oh, look at that. Great hit. So Nani, can he continue this Italian dominance? Indeed he can, up to 17 out of 20. So only 3 targets missed by the Italian. Brynnes Mora, meanwhile, keeps his hopes alive of staying in this final. Becca Castillo with a really solid hit there. So you'll see the clock there just to the right of your screen. Each athlete has 15 seconds to complete their shot. And speaking of completion, that makes it up to 20. So we've got 5 targets to go before we eliminate our first athlete and decide 6th place. Here's how it stood after 15 targets. It was Nani at the top. No change then after 20. Nani on 17 hits out of 20. Becca Castillo tied for second on 15 with Jean-Michael Brunner. Tomek on 14. The Specker on 13, and Brynnes Mora of Spain on 12. So Brynnes Mora really has to hope now that some mistakes are made by some of the other athletes. Otherwise, I think this final is slipping away from his grasp and he could be leaving in 6th place. We'll see what happens over the next 5 targets. Brynnes Mora staying in the hunt on 13. Becca Castillo on 16 now. I think just being called to by, was it the jury member? I'm not just sure there if Becca Castillo was saying, was it his speaker not working? He settles in to take his shot nonetheless, but I don't know, still isn't happy about something. Martin Tomek, meanwhile, scores a hit. And now Jean-Michel Brunner of France. Shake of the head, and that gives light and hope to Brynnes Mora. That hit brings Specker up to 15, so he's now tied with Tomek and Brunner, with Tomek and Brunner still to shoot. Meanwhile, Nani just plugs on, keeps going, and now up to 18 out of 22, so only 4 missed. Brynnes Mora, crucial hits, up to 14. Keeps his chances alive of staying in this final. Becca Castillo now on 17. And that's a terrific hit, and almost hit a live bird there. I think Martin Tomek, he was just feet away from actually scoring a real hit with a real bird that has taken its life into his own hands by flying out in front of the World Championship Para Trap final. And they do say birds have small brains. I certainly think, yeah, bird brain. That's the last thing I'd be doing. So Brynnes Mora here with a crucial hit. Look how it can change for him. Up to 15. So he's got a hope now that the Frenchman misses. Martin Tomek, can he keep within the hunt of the leaders. Not on this occasion, that's a miss. So crucial shot here for Jean-Michel Brunner. He does score that though with a hit, so Brynäs Mora really now needs to get these final two and hope that either Martin Tomek or Jean-Michel Brunner does him a favour by missing a couple of targets. Nani's up to 20. So Brynäs Mora keeps up the fight. The Spaniard will not lay down. 16 out of 24 targets. Becca Castillo now. Here's the world record holder. And a hit, that's 19. So on bib numbers alone, Brynäs Mora could still survive in this final. He's wearing bib number 3. So if he can level with either Martin Tomek or Jean-Michel Brunner, he stands a chance of staying in this final, but he needs to hit his and then hope that either Martin Tomek or Jean-Michel Brunner misses theirs. Here we go. If it's a miss, he's out. No, but it's a hit. So he survives for now. But Brynäs Mora needs Martin Tomek or Jean-Michel Brunner to miss. So Becca Castillo on 20, Martin Tomek. Oh, he's missed that one. That means he could be leaving this final on bib numbers alone. Oh, but Jean-Michel Brunner has also missed after 25 targets. It's the Frenchman on bib number 6 who leaves this final in 6th position. So Martin Tomek just survives by the skin of his teeth. Likewise, Antonio Brynäs Mora, who has just looked pretty shaky from the beginning of this final, has just managed to find some composure from somewhere and just dug right in, kept going, kept on hitting those targets, and has now managed to survive. So just shows you in shotgun you literally just need to keep going, as you never know what's going to happen. So 25 targets down. The next 5 targets will decide 5th place. That'll take us to a total of 30.
With the ones with the 17 targets. In the next round, 5 targets for the 5th place with your
so Gabriele Nane leads the competition after 25 targets. Only 4 misses, total of 21. So at the moment is there or thereabouts for world record pace. We'll have to see how it pans out over the next 20 targets, but he would need to hit them all. So a miss from the world record holder, Adrian Becca Castillo. Back to Nesbecker. And Nani needs to, as I said, hit at least 20 targets to stand a chance of either equaling the world record or getting anywhere near it. Obviously there are more than 20 targets to go, so he could even surpass that, but he's certainly on for it at the moment. Becca Castillo with a decent solid hit at this stage. You just need to keep on trucking. 2 hits for the 2 Italians. And now the next 2 Spaniards. So first of all, Brynäs Mora, who teetered on leaving this final, doesn't want it slipping away from him. If Martin Tomek hits this one, and it means Brynäs Mora is now back down to the bottom of the scoreboard. And Tomek does indeed score with a hit. Oh, a miss for Nespeka. Crucial at this stage. Meanwhile, his fellow countryman Gabriele Nane, 25. Brynäs Mora really needs to hit this one, and does so. Pressure's on Martin Tomek now to score a hit. And here goes Tomek with his 29th shot. Oh, and he's missed it. He's on 20. Has missed 9 in total. That's good news for Brynäs Mora, because Tomek is lower than Brynäs Mora in terms of the bib numbers. Meanwhile, Nani is just getting on with it. He's almost shooting in his own final. Brynäs Mora really needs to hit this in order to stay in, and doesn't. Oh, the drama here in this PT3 mixed trap final. Oh, Becca Castillo just, I think, just raising his hand just to say, I just need a second. Takes his shot with a hit. And now Martin Tomek needs to hit this in order to stay in this final. If he misses, he's out. And he does. So that means Martin Tomek of the Czech Republic will be leaving this final in 5th position. It literally came right down to the wire. But Brynäs Mora, really, you've got to hand it to him. He was at the bottom of the scoreboard for the early part of this shotgun final and has had a real tussle with Martin Tomek. But as he says, shrugs his shoulders and says maybe not today for the Czech Republic shooter. Was 4th in the Munich World Cup earlier on in the summer, and now leaves this World Championship final in 5th. So 2 athletes down and 4 to go. Let's see how it looks at the top after 30 targets. Gabriele Nani on 26, so he's only still missed 4. That's incredible. Becca Castillo on 24, Nespeka on 22, and Brynäs Mora somehow has managed to stay in this final. He's still there in 4th place. And now we'll go to the next 5 targets for these remaining 4 athletes before our next break. Nespeka with a miss. Gabriele Nani with a decent solid hit. He, as I said, just seems to be out there almost shooting by himself. He's just completely in the zone. Becca Castillo needs to hit this in order to stay in the hunt, because we're moving into the latter stages of this PT3 final. This will put Nane 3 in front, with Castillo still to shoot. And Brynäs Mora, I think this time, has maybe run out of lives. There's 3 targets to go, so it's still possible for him to stay in, but he's got to hope now that other shooters start to miss their targets. So that was Nespeka's 33rd shot. So Gabriele Nani, can he make it 29? He can indeed. So that's it then, that's curtains for Brynäs Mora. He will leave this final in 4th place. And Becca Castillo, meanwhile, notches up to 27. Specker now on 25, another good solid hit. Here's Nani, who just looks unstoppable at the moment, now on 30. He was 4th in the last World Championships. He's looking like he's going to get a medal. It just depends on what colour now and what happens with the rest of the athletes. Becca Castillo, the world record holder, just continues to show his class though. 28 hits. Specker has taken his 35th shot, so he knows he's safe. Nani, meanwhile, just wants to keep on hitting, and he does. Brynäs Mora just shooting for pride now. Finishes this competition on a hit, which is always a good way to bow out. He'll be leaving in 4th in just a second. Becca Castillo, meanwhile, with a miss. Oh, so puts more daylight between him and Nani, but leaving this competition in 4th place.
So the 4th place goes to Meritor Antonio Brynäs Mora.
Antonio Brynäs Mora finally has just literally run out of shots, and I think just tilts his head over towards his support and his coach. Did ever so well though, was loitering around towards the bottom of the scoreboard for the early part of that final and really dug deep to find some form. Crept back in, had a bit of a battle with Martin Tomek, also Jean-Michel Brunner, and now finds himself leaving this final in 4th place. But that's 4th in a World Championship final, and that's a decent day's work. So we now have our medalists. We're down to the final 3. It all depends now what colour is going to be awarded to each athlete. We have 2 Italian shooters left and 1 Spaniard. It's Nani at the top on 31 hits. Green pretty much all the way. He's only missed 4 targets. And the world record, just a reminder, is 41. So Nani at the minute is 10 targets short of equaling that, and that'll help. He might even, who knows, set a new world record in front of our very eyes here in Alain. Becca Castillo, 29. So Nesveka really needs to hit this in order to stay in the hunt for silver and gold. And he does so with a hit. Nani, meanwhile, well, it just looks like he's just going to carry on. But there we have perhaps some pressure kicking in. The first miss from the Italian for an awful long while in this final. Becca Castillo, meanwhile, is now 2 in front of Nesveka. So Nesveka currently in the bronze medal position with 3 targets to go, including this one. This is shot 38. So only a possible total of 31. And that's if he hits every single one, including this one. And he's missed that, so he can only finish on 30, which means that he now needs Becca Castillo to miss his last 2 shots in order to get anything other than bronze. So if Becca Castillo hits this, then Francesco Nesveka has taken the bronze medal. And Becca Castillo does indeed. So the bronze medal has been decided. It's going to go to Italy, and it's going to go to Francesco Nesveka, who is just about to shoot. Here he is. World champion from 2019, silver medalist at the Charleroi World Cup earlier this year. So many other more medals to mention as well, and he's just added another bronze. Here's Nani, who's on for a world record perhaps at the moment. World record stands at 41. It was set by this man here, Adrian Becker Castillo. And now the 40th shot. So Nesbeka knows a bronze medal is in the bag. It's in the bag at the moment, but it'll be round his neck fairly soon. It'd be nice for him to finish on a solid 30. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Nani, meanwhile, hit a miss a second ago and is now back into green form in terms of hits. Becker Castillo with the final shot for now before the break. And now the announcement of the bronze medalist. So representing Italy, the bronze medalist in this PT3 mixed trap standing final here in Alain at the 2022 WSPS World Championships goes to Francesco Nesbeka.
Francesco Nesbeka. Big applause for him.
There he is.
Sorry for that little break.
Solid handshake as well. Grabs some water. He goes back to sit with his coach. That's right, don't remember your box. Don't forget your box even. Make sure you take that with you.
So now he has 2 rounds.
So, and then there were 2. So it's Spain versus Italy for the battle for gold. Can Gabriele Nani hang on, not only for a gold, but perhaps even a new world record? I mean, there was those two misses in that last set of 5 targets. That's really cost him, because now there's only 1 between these two. Becker Castillo, the current world record holder, has just kept on plugging away. You must never give up, particularly in shotgun. So Nani are now on 35. There's now 9 targets left for him. 10 left for Becker Castillo, including this one. Oh, and that's a miss for him. That's great news for the Italian and his hunt for the gold medal. It's now back to 2 between these two in terms of difference. See the clock just ticking down there. Each athlete has 15 seconds to make their shot. So Nani will be hoping Becker Castillo misses this one. So I'll just put more daylight between the two. Oh, but he doesn't. The pressure's still on. It's 36 hits versus 34. Very exciting closing stages of this PT3 final. How this is going to play out, we'll just have to sit back and watch. Oh, that's a real big miss at this stage of the final for Gabriele Nani. Is this now Becker Castillo's chance to claw one back in the hunt for the gold medal? Big pump of the shoulders as well. He's delighted with that. Rightly so. There's now only 1 between them. The Italian, who was looking so strong earlier on in this final, has just started to waver over the last 10 or so targets. He scores another decent solid hit there, so pressure now back on to Becker Castillo. The ball is back in his court, as it were. And that's a miss. Oh, you just can't do that at this stage. Gabriele Nani just strutting back, looking very, very focused indeed. Can he hang on? He was 4th in the last World Championship, so he's already improved on that, because he can't now come any lower than 2nd with a silver. Oh, and another hit. Crucial at this stage. That's after 45 targets. Adrian Becker Castillo now with his 45th shot. And he needs a hit and has got it, and there's two between these two athletes now. Here are the final 5 targets then.
But he could get a better gap of 2 targets right now. He is leading with 38 to 30.
So world record stands at 41. It's certainly possible. Nani, if he was to hit all 5, can notch up to 43. Beat the world record by 2 shots. Meanwhile, Adrian Becker-Castillo could only hope to equal his own world record if he was to score all 5. World record stands at 41. Let's see what Nani can do here. Oh, a miss. But he has his hand up. I think he thinks he hit it, or at least clipped some of it. No, hand goes down. I think it's going to stand as a miss. Just 2 targets separating these great shooters, Gabriele Nani, gold medalist in the Open European Championships, against the world record holder, Adrian Becker-Castillo, who has taken 2 gold medals already this year at 2 World Cups. First of all in Châteauroux earlier on in the year, and then in Munich a couple of weeks later, both across the summer months. And I think what's happened here is Nane is just appealing that he perhaps clip some of the clay. You see the jury there just deciding what's going to happen. So Becker-Castillo settles in for his 46th shot of this final, and a miss. Slams his empty cartridge into the basket, furious, shaking his head. I see sometimes interruptions and delays like that, they just disrupt your flow, disrupt your focus, concentration. And at this stage of a World Championship final, it's the last thing you need. Meanwhile, here's Nani continuing to march forward with another hit. The world record is on. There are 3 targets left. 47 gone. His target 48 for Nani. So 3 left, including this one, which could put him on a total of 42 should he hit all of them, and that would mean a new world record and a gold medal and the title of world champion. Not bad. Oh, and a hit. There we are. It's on. It is on. Adrian Becker-Castillo's world record that was set in Châteauroux earlier on this year could be under threat of going here, and certainly at the moment it's looking more like a silver medal for the Spaniard. He's almost just, he knows it's gone. It won't be a gold. Nani, meanwhile, is now shooting for a world record. And he's got that. So he's now equalled the world record. He's on 41. So Becker-Castillo now taking his final shots. And another miss. Oh, I think his head's gone, really. He's all over the place now. He's the current world record holder. And this is for a new world record. Not only the gold medal, which is already in the bag, the title of world championship and world champion, that is in the bag. It's now just the case of whether or not a new world record can be set just with the pull of this trigger. And it's a miss, which means the world record has been equalled. I just think Gabriele Nane just looking over, not only just to check that it was called as a miss, but just to make sure that he now is not the new world record holder, but he is the world champion nonetheless, and puts his shotgun right in the air. The gold medalist representing Italy, Gabriele Nane, who has just shot so well through this PT3 final. It's been absolutely unbelievable, and now equals the world record, as you're seeing on your screen there, a total of 41, the world record that was set on the 10th of June earlier on this summer by Adrian Becca Castillo of Spain, who is our silver medalist. And representing Italy, Francesco Naspecca is the bronze medalist. Silver medal going to Spain and Adrian Becca Castillo, and the gold medalist and title of world champion, standing so proud and nodding to the camera, and rightly so. Yes, Gabriele, you are the world champion and you are the gold medalist. So that completes our coverage of this PT3 final, and also for the Para Trap finals at this World Championships here in Alain. We'll be back tomorrow with no fewer than 3 finals for you. So local time tomorrow on day 6 of competition, 11:45 for the visually impaired pistol final. Also at 3:30 the R9 final, and at 5 p.m. the P2 final. 3 finals for you here tomorrow, day 6 of the Alain 2022 WSPS World Championships. So from myself, Rory McAllister, from the entire TV crew here and everybody that's brought you this coverage of the Paratrap finals, we wish you good evening and farewell. We'll see you tomorrow for day 6.